Pixar revitalized animation forever and didn't make a single mediocre movie until their 12th feature film, Cars 2. It all started in 1979 when George Lucas hired one of Pixar's founders, Ed Catmull, to work for George's new graphics group, which was a small computer division at Lucasfilm. In 1983, John Lasseter also went on to work for George's graphics group. John later became Chief Creative Officer at both Pixar and Disney Animation for a long period of time. He pitched to Disney the idea of a full-length computer-animated feature. The proposal was immediately denied once they found out it would have the same budget as their 2D animated films. The team at Lucasfilm needed a professional animator at the time, so hired John Lasseter to be the lead animator for them. In 1984, the team created the first ever relatively unknown computer animated short titled The Adventures of Andre and Wally B. George Lucas eventually sold the computer division as it wasn't making the money that he was hoping. In 1986, Steve Jobs, CEO of Apple, bought the computer division and established the group as an independent company known as Pixar. Steve Jobs invested $5 million to see what Pixar were able to do. Pixar's first new project that would come from the new company was Luxo Jr, a computer animated short directed by John Lasseter about a lamp and a Luxo ball. The short went on to be nominated for Best Animated Short Film, become the mascot for Pixar, and most importantly, inspired the filmmakers at Pixar as it gave them hope for their future. Pixar produced 3 shorts during the late 80s, including Red Stream, Tin Toy and Knick Knack before their first feature film. The shorts weren't enough for Pixar to survive, so the company hired Andrew Stanton, who later went on to direct Finding Nemo, WALL-E and Finding Dory, and Pixar Chief Creative Officer Pete Docter, who has directed Monsters Inc., Up, Inside Out and Soul. During this time, Pixar would produce computer-animated commercials for a wide range of companies, but eventually in 1991 decided that they were going to distribute at least one fully computer-animated film. The early version for Toy Story, their first computer-animated film, was originally going to be very different to the one that we eventually received in 1995. Originally Disney were wanting Pixar to create a more edgy animated film. This made Woody come off as too unlikable, so Pixar pitched to Disney their new idea for Toy Story, which Disney liked and approved of. In 1995, after an extremely troubled production, Toy Story was released worldwide and ended up being the highest grossing animated film of that year, grossing an impressive total of $362 million worldwide. The film was nominated for multiple awards at the Oscars, and John Lasseter received a Special Achievement Oscar for his inspired leadership of the Pixar Toy Story team, resulting in the first feature-length computer-animated film. Walt Disney Studios and Pixar made an agreement to produce 5 computer-animated feature-length movies, which went on to bite Pixar in the butt, as Toy Story 2 didn't count towards this deal because it was originally supposed to be a direct-to-video sequel. This caused bad blood between Disney and Pixar to the point that they weren't originally going to renegotiate with Disney. Instead, they were looking to partner with a different animation studio. Pixar ended up producing A Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles and Cars in partnership with Disney. Every one of these films were huge successes, and Disney realised this as their traditionally 2D animated films were drastically underperforming, while Pixar films were striving. So Disney, now with a new CEO, Bob Iger, ended up outright buying Pixar in 2006 and went on to hire John Lasseter as Chief Creative Officer at Disney Animation while he also ran Pixar. Pixar's next 4 films, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up and Toy Story 3, were also great successes, but then Cars 2 came around in 2011, which was to be Pixar's first ever mediocre feature and started a trend as they produced average film after average film between 2012 and 2017. including Brave, Monsters University, The Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory and Cars 3. Not one of these films were on the same level of quality as Pixar's previous original 13 masterpieces, as they transitioned to produce more sequels than originals. In the meantime, Disney were going back on track as they produced hit after hit, starting from Tangled, even managing to rival Pixar's more recent films. In 2017, Coco was released and it started a new renaissance for Pixar as they went back to their roots of producing many more originals than sequels. Since Cars 3, Pixar have produced Coco, Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, Onward, Soul and Luca. Only 2 of their more recent films were sequels, and even though it is a sequel, Toy Story 4 is regarded as one of Pixar's best films. Lately, Pixar have been focusing on shorts and series for Disney Plus alongside their feature films. Personally, I loved their 2 latest films, Luca and Soul, so I'm hoping that Lightyear and Turning Red, which are both set to be released next year, maintain the same level of quality as their other recent films. I had so much fun making this video as Pixar is easily my favourite movie studio of all time, and would love to know if you enjoyed this type of video and which other movie studios' history you'd be interested in me doing a video of next.